Hello, everybody. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. And over the summer, I teach Wanick Summer Health, which I really enjoy. Summer school is a whirlwind. It's 3 weeks, like the last week of June and 2 weeks of July, and it crams an entire semester into that time. So I know this is broken off on the side here, but it's like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, and then I have to put my grades in at the end of the day. So it's a real whirlwind. I really like to do projects, project-based learning, and so every day, the culmination of every day is going to be a big project where the students get to apply the skills that they learned for that day, which is a unit. Okay. Now, the textbook that we use is a dinosaur. Oh my gosh, it's so old. It doesn't even talk about vaping because vaping hadn't been invented yet. And again, I explained this in another video, but I kind of insist on being by myself in my home school instead of going to the central school where most everybody is, because I really want to do projects. And my colleagues at the central schools, they don't like projects so much. They just teach out of the textbook. So every day we have a unit, like here's mental health. Well, that's going to take 2 days to do because one day is stress relief, handling stress, and the next day is mental disorders. And we've got social health, which is your community health. Then we've got a nutrition that spans a couple days. Then, so each day is basically a unit. Okay, now, before I make any project whatsoever, I'm always thinking backwards design. What skills do I want the students to have at the end of the day? So I always start from that position first. I never say, oh, here's a game I want to play. How can I play it? No, it's always, what do I want my students to be able to do first? So here I had a need. Students had to be able to identify potentially stressful situations, and that way they can kind of head it off at the pass. Oh, I know that this is going to be stressful. How am I going to prepare? And they need to learn tools for de-stressing those situations, either before they get into them or while they're in the thick of them or when they're just after them. They need to learn how to de-stress. So in order to do this, I need something that can mix and match, because you're not always going to have the same stressful situation, but I want the students to have all these tools that they know that they can use on any of these stressful situations. It's not like, oh, I have to talk to a teacher, I can only do this. No, I want them to be able to use 12 different tools, right? So in the back of my mind, I had rattling around that my language classes really like to play Cluolingo. It's Clue. Here, I'll go to the next page. Back in the day, I worked with Duolingo when they had employees to make a skin for the game Clue. And you can see here I've got different cards for the language classes that I teach, so I can swap it out. This is the Spanish card. When the French class walks in, I can take all the Spanish cards, put them away, and have the students put out the French cards. And so the game can do double duty for all my classes. And I was thinking, you know what? It's a fun game. It's got a lot of mixing and matching, right? You could be in any room whatsoever and have any weapon, or in this case, it was a school supply. And any one of those things could go with any other one of those things. And so I decided to try that on my health class a couple of years ago, and it works like a charm. They love it. It's great. They're talking about all the de-stressing techniques throughout the whole game. So it works really great. I'll go over these in a second. I think I've got a better way to talk about this, but these are the rooms. Instead of being rooms, these are the problems. And then instead of weapons, of course, we've got the techniques that are hopefully going to de-escalate the situation. Okay, so let me go over these with you. And yes, you are welcome to steal all this. Contact me if you want a copy. Our time is limited and our resources are limited as teachers. I have no problem sharing my stuff for free. Okay. get a good night's sleep. Way to, if you got enough rest, you're calmer. Good nutrition, you're going to be calmer. We always work on mindfulness, relaxation, and I talked about that in another video. Just giving yourself some slack. Getting exercise, very important to de-stress. Setting a goal or a purpose, then you've got something to focus on. Mental rehearsal, we talk about shower bottle conversations all the time. Doing something nice for someone, we talk about loving kindness meditation. We talk about the oxytocin flowing through your brain, your body. When you do something nice, we practice writing letters of gratitude to people. Setting a reward, that's another goal setting thing, so that you've got motivation to get through a problem. And then the problems, I printed on all the same cards so that I didn't have to waste cardstock. Problems, I decided breaking up with someone, that's going to be stressful. Asking a teacher a question. A lot of students are very stressed about advocating for themselves and talking to teachers. So I put that in there. Problem with a friend, obviously that's going to be potential stress. Test coming up. Talking to a boss, because some of them have part-time jobs. Confronting a bully. Problem with a sibling. Your pet gets sick. Parents are arguing with you. And then I printed them up. Now I made it like 2 per sheet. I could have done 4 per sheet, but I didn't feel like making the text that tiny. But I decided I was going to print them up with circles instead of bullet points, and that way that could be the checkbox as the students are looking over what they have. And again, clue is just a matter of who did what where. And so it's really good for the mixing and matching. The students had really good conversations while they were playing. So I think it worked beautifully. They had a lot of fun. They're asking to play it again. I mean, this is the 3rd year I've done this. And this particular class this year, they keep asking to play it. So obviously it's working really well. And then when we took our vocabulary test at the end of the day, they all got over 95% because they knew all the terms by that point. So yep, worked really well as a project. So help me make more projects. Come talk to me at any of these places. You can leave a comment here on YouTube, of course. I hang out at the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, the Minecraft Education Ambassadors, Roxham, that's a language learning app, art in Spanish class, because I do a lot of art projects in my Wannick Summer Health class, and bounce ideas off of them all the time. Teacher Excellence Lounge, World Language Teacher Lounge, Wayground Game Changers. I've talked at length about how I use Wayground in my summer health class, and I am now on the Comprehend This podcast, and I am a NACEF fellow from now on. So come talk to me at any of these places and help me come up with more projects. And let me know how you tweak this one. See you on the next.